Your daily fix of women's mixed martial arts from the UFC, Invicta FC, Bellator, and one championship. Be in the loop, cause Golden State Media Concepts got you covered. Get your fix on women's MMA with Got You Covered on Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Women's MMA podcast. My name is Sarah, and normally you hear me on this show with my co-host Tate. But today we have a special episode, a preview of tonight's fight, UFC 217, the fight between Joanna Jedrzejczyk and Rose Namanjunas. And my co-host Tate and his co-host on the MMA show sat down last night and had a conversation about this fight. And so that's the conversation that we're bringing you this morning. And without further ado and further words from me, let's get to that conversation.
The fight that I'm most looking forward to, which I would have made it my main event. It's not going to be it's not going to be GSP coming back big, but the fight I'm most looking forward to is 14-0 out of Poland, Joanna Jedrzejczyk versus Thug Rose Namanjunas. And the thing with Rose is, when Rose is mentally on point, I've yet to see anyone be able to stand up to her. And so, and this fight here with Rose and Joanna, this is a very different fighter than Joanna has been facing lately. We're fighters that have just been desperately trying to figure out a way to get Joanna on the ground. Get her on the ground. Get her on the ground. Rose is going to want to fight with her. And when I look at this fight, the one thing that gives Rose a shot is this. Early in the fight, I've seen situations where you can catch Joanna, and it won't be her hand. That's dangerous. Rose is one of those people that actually have normal hand speed. She's not lightning fast with the hand speed. She's a good fighter, but what Rose comes with is she can get that kick up. That kick can come out of nowhere. Just ask Michelle Waterson. I thought Michelle Waterson was going to school Rose, but once that kick was landed, it was over. She never could recover from that. Is there a chance that Rose could catch Joanna with a kick like that? Nah.
You had me, Jay.
Hell no. I'm taking Joanna champion, baby. Joanna Jedrzejczyk is just the most rounded fighter I have ever seen. It's not Chris Cyborg. It's not Ronda Rousey. It's Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Every single fight, that every time she fights, she gets better and better and better. I can literally watch every fight and say she's improved from the last fight. I've never seen anyone go 5, 6, 7, 8 fights in a row and improve every single time. She's improved leaps and bounds since coming over to the United States. I say she's the most mentally strong champion of all the weight divisions, male and female. She's the most complete fighter in all the weight divisions. Maybe Demetrius Johnson and her got something, I matter that those
GSP, not him.
No. Joanna Jedrzejczyk Demetrius Johnson. Most two-rounded fighters in all of the UFC, in my opinion. I don't see any way. Rose is tough, but I think she's getting into Rose's head. At the weigh-in, Rose is mumbling something, and Joe Rogan says, "What did you say to her?" And she's like, "I'm saying was it the Lord's Prayer?"
Yeah, she's saying the Lord's Prayer.
She's in there praying because you're gonna need Jesus when you're fighting Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Sorry, don't mean to offend anybody, but this woman, I mean, she's just almost perfect. In my opinion, when I look at a perfect fighter, that's my definition of a perfect fighter. And what is Rose going to do? Is Rose going to step back and trade with Joanna? Joanna has faster hands, just as good as kicks. World-class kicks, world-class hands. So is she going to box with her? That's bad news. Is she going to try to rough her up and take her to the ground? Everyone's been doing that, and no one's succeeded. Much better ground fighters and grapplers and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters than Rose have made that attempt. So how does Rose pull it off? Second thing is, in the weigh-in, she's doing the prayer. Rose looks like she's about to cry. You can break Rose mentally. And Rose, I'm going to say this flat out. Rose is one of my absolute favorite fighters in the women's strawweight division. She's one of my favorite fighters in all of women's mixed martial arts, but I just don't give her a chance. What's your take?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I'm glad that you talked about how Joanna is vulnerable at times going into some fights. She's been knocked down sometimes just from punches that she may not have seen, even though she dominates the rest of the fight. And why I can't say that she's one of the most complete fighters is I haven't seen her submission game, like that type of grappling, so I can't give her that. And that's where I would give Rose the advantage, because Rose is somewhat of a submission specialist.
Absolutely, she's a submission specialist.
She's taken out a lot of fighters just on the ground.
But I look at like the last fight. When you look at it and you say she's fought some of the best grapplers.
Oh yeah, you talk about Claudia Gadelha. She fought Jessica Andrade. Amazing how she dismantled
those on Jessica Andrade, Claudia Gadelha are two of the best ground fighters in women's mixed martial arts, and they couldn't get her to the ground. The first time that Claudia Gadelha and Joanna Jedrzejczyk fought, and she got her to the ground, she was able to handle it and get back up. She has proven she has proven that even when you get her down, it is very hard to keep her down. Kind of like when you think about Michael Bisping, about he's gonna have to employ a style that if he gets taken to the ground, he has to be able to figure out how to get back up. Joanna has proven that against the best, she can get back up.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that this is how I see the fight playing out.
Okay.
I see Joanna just putting an absolute beating on Rose, right? Okay. She's going to wear the crimson mask. Rose is going to just wear the crimson mask that all the fighters that fight Joanna wear. And one of those punches will knock her down. One of those punches will knock Rose down. And Joanna may be obliged to follow her into her guard, where she is most dangerous.
I don't think she will. That's one of the things.
That's the only point in which I see Rose winning. Just to give you another. That's the only.
Wait,
point.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you think I was taking Rose at one point?
No, I thought you were. Yes, I thought you were. Yes, I thought you were actually. That's why I'm giving you my my walk around.
Oh yes, I knew. I could tell. I could see the look on your face, like, are you really gonna do this? No way. I like, you're watching me like I'm on TV, and you're like, wow, he's gonna actually pick Rose. And I love Rose. That's the funny thing. If Rose is watching this, I am a huge fan of yours. But you are fighting a freak of nature. It's just that's my thing. I the biggest problem I have with Joanna Jedrzejczyk is the fact that she wants to move up to flyweight. Just stay there like Demetrius Johnson and just keep racking up wins until no one can ever break your record, because you're gonna break Ronda Rousey's title defense record and just put it out of reach.
Well, she's running out of women to beat. That's a problem.
Yeah, you know what? Because there's going to be a mass exodus of women that are going to go to that flyweight division because they can't deal with Joanna Champion. And Joanna Champion is the woman who's like, oh, Amanda Nunes is dropping out. I'll go up to the bantamweight division and fight on 3 hours notice. You know about that, right?
Yeah, she's fought. I mean, if you look back at her Muay Thai career, she fought Valentina 4 times. I think she's not afraid. She's a fighter through and through.
Yeah, and you know what? I went back. You can go on YouTube and you can catch some of her Muay Thai fights. You can go back. It's weird. I've never seen anyone do this. Every single fight, she gets better. I've yet to. When do you plateau to the point that you're like, okay, you got everything? Each fight, I think she looks better every single time, and I've never seen that with any fighter, especially a champion. Most times, once you get the title, you level off because of the media obligation. You're just not as hungry. She's working like a mad woman. You watch some of the embedded. You watch some of the things that she's doing. She's in the gym like she is the number 10 contender, and she is trying to get to the title. She doesn't train like I'm the I'm the champ. I'm king of the mountain. She's still getting better. I'm amazed by her.
She's like the queen of the hill that fights off every single person and then builds that hill even higher.
Yes. Now, I mean, I'm really curious about. This fight is going to be the most different of all the fights that she's done. I admit that. This is going to be, a challenge for her. I think Rose is going to try to challenge her early on. If Rose has success early, it could be an interesting fight, but I don't think she will. I think it's going to be kind of a Michael Bisping kind of situation where I think she needs to land that big kick early and stun her. And if she does that, that's her only chance, is that surprise kick. As far as skill, I just think Joanna's better on every single aspect of the fight. And I could be wrong. I could be biased, but that's kind of the way I see it. Am I missing anything? Do you disagree with anything that I've said?
No, you said that's her only way of winning. I think that if she follows her to the ground, if she follows Rose to the ground, there's a chance that may happen too. But that's very unlikely.
Okay, and let's address that. I have seen Joanna drop people and they tell
stand back up, come on up,
get on up, girl.
Yeah,
get on up. And I could see that kind of, because I think Joanna. I was watching an interview. I think Joanna's game plan is to break Rose mentally. And the best way to break Rose mentally is to beat her, get her on the ground. When she goes to the ground, get her right back up, get some more hot sauce, and keep on just tapping her. When you think about Rose, now back to your kind of theory, it's kind of like the same, like the mistake that Paige Van Zandt made with Rose. Paige Van Zandt should have never, ever went to the ground with Rose. That was just a bad decision. I don't think Joanna's going to make that mistake. Joanna does not. Joanna knows she's so comfortable and so far superior on the stand-up that going on the ground, I just think, would just not even be a good move.
Yeah, she doesn't play or mess around at all. She's just all business, all beatings.
I think she should start coming to the ring with a briefcase and a suit and tie on, because it's all business.
And that comment concluded Will and Tate's conversation about UFC 2017, tonight's fight between Joanna Jedrzejczyk and Rose Namanjunas. I hope you'll join us next time when Tate and I recap that fight. and talk about all the other news that's going on in women's MMA right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Please join us next time.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Women's Mixed Martial Arts Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.